Right, the rounded one. Excellent. All right, range y such that, okay, 3 less than or equal to y, which is less than 3. Okay, so in interval notation, -3, 3. Makes sense to everyone so far? All right, let's do this one then. So my domain, it's right here. Oh, sorry, it's a solid line, not dotted. Okay. Is there a maximum x value? No, it goes beyond 4, right? 5 has a value, 6 is plotted, 7 will be plotted. So does it ever stop? No, it goes to infinity in that direction. It goes on to infinity. The x values. I can plug any x value in. What graph does this look like?
Oh, there was like a 1 over x.
No, but that's a good, not root x, it is root x. F of x equals the square root of x. That's what this graph is. Square root of 0 is 0, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 2 is something bigger than 1, square root of 3 something bigger than 1, square root of 4 is 2, square root of 5, I don't know, square root of 5.5, I don't know, right? Does that make sense? The next pretty thing to graph will be 9, right? Because the square root of 9 will be 3. So it doesn't matter what I put in here as long as what I put in here is, it can only be 0 to positive. It doesn't have to be squared. I can put 3 in, but I'm going to have to ask my calculator to figure it out because I don't know. But anyway. All right, what is the range?
The range would be 0 all the way across and infinity.
Yeah, so this continues to grow. It's not growing very fast, but it's never going to have a maximum, right? It will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger slowly, but it'll continue to get bigger forever. Yeah, I'm about to write it. So the domain, what values can I put in for the square root of x? 0. Any maximum?
You put the less than equal to infinity.
No, we don't usually put, because infinity is not a number. We usually just work with numbers here. So we use infinity in this case because in the set notation because we need a placeholder. Otherwise it looks like a lonely number that doesn't make sense. So in set notation it is 0 with a bracket, comma, infinity with parentheses. Always have parentheses on infinity. Infinity always goes with parentheses. What about the range? It's the same, I'm just going to use y. When I take the positive square root, notice this is only the positive square root. When I take the positive square root of any number, I'm always going to get out a positive number, right? It is impossible to take the square root of a number and get a negative out. So all right, so that's your domain and range. Does that make sense to everyone? I'm going to turn the page now. Let's do the next one. This one looks like which function? It kind of does, but because it's a v, it's the absolute value. Yeah, the x squared would be a little bit more curvy in the bottom. Okay. All right, my domain and range. So what is my smallest x value? Negative infinity. Negative infinity. That says negative infinity. It's hard. Yeah, and it never stops. It keeps going to positive infinity. Negative and positive infinity. Okay? Because it just keeps going. What about the range?
Negative
Yeah, but negative 4.
1, 2. I think it's a 3. This line here is negative 4.
Oh.
So that's okay. So a solid line here, but is there a line up here?
No.
No, it never stops growing. This is infinity up here. That's a very poor representation of an infinity. So infinity here. All right. By the way, this is the graph of f of x equals the absolute value of x minus 3. That's what this graph is. And you guys will learn pretty quickly how to figure this out by yourselves. You don't have to know at this point in time, but you'll eventually be able to do it just as fast as I did. Domain. Set of all x such that
What's minus 3?
we're going to do this.
Oh.
Do you guys remember what this little e thing is?
You create numbers or something. You
No?
I forgot. Oh, it's all members?
Yeah. We say element.
I forgot what.
Of. Okay? X, an element of the, and what does the double bar R mean? Real numbers. So X is any number in the real numbers. Choose any real number and that's what X is. That's what this notation says. X, an element of the real numbers. Does that make sense? X, an element of the real numbers. So in set notation, what would I write, Carlos?
Oh, you were right. X.
No. Okay, Carlos, I called on you to nicely tell you to be quiet and pay attention. Okay. And the rest of your group. All right. How do I write this in interval notation?
You do parentheses, negative, infinity, and then comma, infinity.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought you asked me about the range.
No, but you can tell me the range now.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why. And then it'll be y. No. It'll be negative 3.
Okay.
Is greater than or equal to.
Is less than or equal to.
Less than or equal to x.
Y.
Y.
Yeah. Okay. And then we don't cap it because it doesn't get, there's no top.
It'll be the square.
A bracket?
Yeah. Bracket negative 3, infinity, positive infinity.
Yep. Excellent. We always use the parentheses with infinity because infinity is not actually a number. I can't plug infinity actually in to this equation. That doesn't make sense. I could plug a big number in, but not infinity. Since infinity is just a placeholder and not a number, I use the parentheses. All right, last but not least, domain. Smallest value is right here with a solid line. Yeah, like negative 5. Is that what it is? And what's this one?
Broken line.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Broken line 6. Okay. All right. And the absolute top here is, let's see, this is like the top of that line, right?
negative 6 and 2.
Yeah, and then negative 6, he says. Yep. And those are solid lines because the graph actually hits at those lines. Does that make sense? So what's the domain?
It'll be yeah. It'll be negative 5. This is less than or equal to x, which which is less than 6.
6? Okay. Or is it 6? Yeah, it's 6. Okay. And then -5, 6. What do I use on the side of -5?
Bracket.
A bracket. And on the side of the 6? Parentheses. What about the range? That line means such that?
-6 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 2.
It's less than or equal to what, 2?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Is this f(x) equals 1/x?
No, this is not. F of x equals 1 over x. That's a great question. I'll go over that in my other video.